This model kit review is of the Airfix HS Buccaneer, and this is a British plane. It's a 1/48 scale model, and you can see a artist's impression of the plane. And as you can see anything different here. Here are the dimensions, and let's have a look inside. This one I bought online and has looks like it's already been started. We have some just sprue there. Here are our decals. It's a fairly large sheet of decals, and looks like a tremendous amount of detail here. Here are the instrument panels. Lots of extra little details. Lots and lots of details. Okay. First of all, here's our cockpit, which they put one of the control sticks on there. Other than that, not a lot of detail. We do have some of our, these look like our ejection seats with some detail on them. So we'll have to have a look at those and see on the instructions how those go on. Here we do have a pilot figure. Here's the other ejection seat. It seems to have some level of detail. Here we have our wings. Now, Airfix uses this very interesting plastic. It has a very unusual feel. It's a very nice type of plastic. It's easy to work with. It's not brittle at all. I mean, it's quite flexible. That's just always something that's interesting to me. Type of plastic that they use compared to the other ones. Here's the other side, nicely molded, lots of detail here. Those are all recessed lines. Again, here's the lower side of the fuselage, all recessed lines. Here's our nose wheel well, not much detail there. Here's the main wheel wells, also not much detail. Looks like a tail hook area. Here's the top of our fuselage, and looks like it's buckled a little bit. And looks, yeah, from the side you can see it has buckled, so that'll need to get straightened out. We do have not much detail on the inside of that cockpit there either. Here are our air intakes. Interesting that they use a different plastic for this, and looks like our the end of the air intakes with the turbofan. This must be the exhaust. Here we have our wheel, which is actually fairly well molded. We do have some mold lines though. Here's the other pilot. And another wheel with ejector pins on it. Over here we have our canopy. And that seems to be fairly well molded. Here we have our pylons and weapon systems, all fairly well molded, good level of detail, and some additional fuselage parts. So it's interesting that they use this different type of plastic. This one's a little bit less flexible. Here's our tail. There's some mold lines and flashing, and this looks like the air brake at the back. fuel tanks. Here's our, it's the T-tail, so this is the stabilizer fairing level of detail there, and other parts of the exhaust. Here we have a tail hook. We have a main gear, looks pretty solid. A nose gear here. A wheel well covers with some nice detail on there. Some additional parts. Looks like there's our instrument panel and another wheel. This comes with a notebook. Gives you some of the details about the plane. Some pictures of the plane. That's always very, very helpful. And then about how to actually make the model. So let's start off with these instructions here. Start off with the ejection seat, which has already been done, and then the painting guide is alongside of it. Same thing with the pilot here. Then the canopy, instrument panels put on. So this last piece here is the other instrument panel over there. The navigator, and then decals going on, and the rest of the cockpit. That's then put into the fuselage. And we start to build our landing gear and our engines, air intakes, and exhausts, air brakes, fuselage going together, all the extra little pieces including the intakes and exhaust being put on. There's the air brake shown in open position. You could have them closed as well. And then we have the stabilizer and the wings. You could have them up if you wanted to. It's always nice to be able to show the features of the plane. And our landing gear is put on, as well as wheel well covers and some additional parts. And we go to the fuel tanks and the weapon systems. Got missiles, air-to-air surface, and electronic jamming. Here's our decal and paint guide. There's the it's the one option there, and then some of the other options here. And this looks like an interesting one here, the from Operation Desert Storm in Bahrain. And then once we've done that, we put on our weapons.